Hello everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. We wanted to address the issues on the virus that we're having. A lot of confusion seems to be in the church, different opinions about that, and want to try and clarify where we stand as a leadership in the church and moving forward how we're going to handle this virus. First off, I'd like to say from the very beginning we have not and it had any condemnation for those that are at risk. If you are in a situation where it is not safe for you to come, low immune system, older or whatever, we completely understand that, and in no way are we guilting you to come back, or do we even encourage you to come back. We want everyone to be safe, and this is a difficult time for all of us, and so we want to do the best we can to protect everyone and be considerate to those who are in a situation where they cannot join us. So want to say that to start with. But we are in a time when it seems that there are a lot of people catching this now. For a while, for a long time, no one in our church had it. Now we've had a few cases that have had it. Thank God we've not had lost anyone or really had anyone real sick from this. At the same time, it is starting to come into our church. We have to understand how to move forward and what is the safe thing and what we all should do. Now, all I know to do is we've tried to pray about this, tried to trust the Lord in the direction we take in the church. We went to the CDC, their guidelines, and we're trying to go by them. There are a lot of people saying a lot of different rumors and a lot of different things. If you have an opinion, if you have someone told you this or someone told you that, that is your right. All I know to go by is what the government is putting out. I think we all have realized by this point you really can't believe everything you hear, even from the CDC. So we're kind of at the mercy of the information that we have. So that's what we're trying to operate the church for. So if you go to the CDC guidelines for this virus, what you will find is that if you have been exposed to someone, you're within 6 feet of that person for a period of 15 minutes, and that person tests positive for corona, you are at risk yourself of possibly having it and even giving it to someone else. And that is the recommendations of the CDC. So what that means, if we understand that, if you are, as Brother Jacob, for instance, if you are in the same room as Brother Jacob, even if you got close to Brother Jacob and passing, that does not mean you're at risk, according to the CDC. If you stood and talked to Brother Jacob very, very close proximity and for an extended period of 15 minutes, then you are considered at risk, according to the CDC. So all we can do is go by these things, and I'm trying to just abide by what the government is giving us. They also are saying that second and third person exposure does not set you at risk. And what that means is if you were around someone who was around someone who has tested positive, that doesn't mean that now all of a sudden you are. And if we just use a little bit of common sense on this issue, if you really think about it, with all the cases that are popping up and everything, unless you stay in your house and never leave it, you're probably guaranteed to be around someone who's been around someone who's had COVID. So let's just use a little common sense here. It's almost impossible. Again, if you stay completely, and some of you are, if some of you stay in your house and never go to a ball game, never go out to eat, never go have any fun, you don't leave your house, you stay there all the time, then maybe you're in a different situation. If you're going to Walmart or out to eat or anywhere else, you're probably around someone who's been around someone who's had corona. So for the church to continue on is not saying we don't care about everybody and we're just putting everybody in danger. We're trying to abide by the guidelines and trying to use a little bit of common sense. And again, that's what the CDC has said. So I want to let everybody know our policies going forward with the virus, so everyone kind of understands our thinking. We are trying to do our best to keep everyone safe. We don't want anyone in danger. Don't believe that we're putting anyone in danger. If I believe that there was a danger of someone dying from this, we would shut the church down immediately, but I don't feel that way from all the information we've been able to gather. But the virus is starting to come to different people, so this is going to be our policy going forward. If you are sick, if you develop symptoms, we just simply ask you to stay home. Through this time of virus, it's just a good precaution for everyone if you just stay home if you're sick. I know there's a lot of colds going around this time of the year. That's normal. Every year we have that, but for precaution, if you just stay home if you don't feel well. If you test positive for this virus, we would ask that you don't come to church. Obviously, we don't want to give it to anyone else. If you're in the same household as someone who has it, we would ask you to stay home. If you are in close proximity to someone within 6 feet for an extended period of time for 15 minutes or someone who tests positive, we'd ask you to stay home. Again, just as a precautionary, and again, trying to follow the CDC rules. And we will be disinfecting the church just to try and do every precaution that we can. Between services, we will disinfect the areas, the surfaces, try to make it as safe as an environment as we can. We've all the way through this, we've tried to protect the congregation, keep them safe. We feel these are trying to follow the guidelines as best we can, and so this will be our policy going forward. So in the future, we want to kind of know where we're at in the future going on. Unfortunately, guys, this is spreading in our area. It's spreading around. There are probably going to be other people who are going to test positive in our church. Unfortunately, that's the time we live in. It'd be great to say no one else will get it, but more than likely there will be. So do we cancel church every time someone has it? Do we say it's not safe to come out there because someone has it? And the thing is, just like with Brother Jacob, if we cancel for 2 weeks and then someone else tests it, and then we cancel for 2 weeks, and someone else tests and we cancel for 2 weeks, the next thing you know, it's spring and we haven't had church all year long. And I myself don't think that's acceptable, and I don't think that's using good common sense. So again, if we follow the guidelines we've set out, but going forward, our policies are going to be that church is very important. I believe that it is. I think we see the effects on many of you. We went for a long time, didn't have church, then we were only having parking lot services, then we were having on Sunday morning only, and I continually heard from all of you, I need my church, I miss my church. I think that some of you are starting to show signs of your spiritual health is not so good because of not being in church. And I know it can't be like it used to be, and I wish that it could be like it used to be, but it can't be. And so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and keep the church doors open. We're going to try to put in place these things to keep those away that are sick, those away that have the virus, and those who do not have it are able to come to church and have a safe place to come. But guys, again, this is important. Your spiritual health is just as important and really far more important than your physical health. And I do not fault those of you who are concerned about your health. At the same time, to ask us to shut the church down and to no one's allowed to come here until there's no one in the church who has anything going on, that's not really realistic. And really what you're asking us to do is possibly shut it down for months upon a time. And what will the spiritual ramifications be of that? The weakness that will come in, the drawing cold, and many of you, most of you have told me online services is not the same. You don't get the same out of online services. We're trying to do everything we can to give you what you need, but we feel that church is a necessity. It is an essential, and we're going to try to keep it open. So going forward, there will be others who test positive. If everyone will follow these guidelines, stay at home if you're under the guidelines of not supposed to come to church. And those of you that do come, we'll have it disinfected. You're welcome to wear your mask. We'll try to have it safe as an environment. As can, you can social distance. We'll do everything we can to keep you safe, but we believe church is important, and we're going to try and keep church going. And so whatever may come, whatever may go, my goal is to not shut the church down. And thankfully we did have many that came out this morning. We appreciate that. Going forward, again, if you're at risk, you should stay home. But we're going to try and provide a safe environment, and we're doing the best we can to follow the CDC guidelines. And I hope everyone understands how important church is. And we want you to know we love you. We want to protect you. As the pastor, I want to do everything I can to make you feel safe. And I want to let you know that my concern is, I'm greatly concerned about everyone's safety. But I'm also very concerned. I am charged with your spiritual well-being, and to set all of that aside spiritually so as we can take care of the possibility that something could happen. I don't believe this. And guys, like if you think about this, since this church has been here for 60, 70 years, every single year since this church has been here, we've had a flu season. Every year. People die, people get deathly sick. It is very, very contagious, and we've had many people in the church with the flu. We have never shut the church down and quit having church because one person in the church got flu. We'd ask them to stay home and not come to church. That's what we always did. I know that this has been greatly talked about, but again, is it worth not having church because someone in the church comes down with it? So I hope that clarifies things. I hope that helps everyone understand where we're at. Again, if you're not comfortable, you're welcome to watch us online, but we want to have a place for those who want to come to be able to come and worship the Lord. By the way, we had a great service this morning. Hope you joined us online, but those that were here, the Lord was here, the Spirit was here. We rejoiced. It was a very, very encouraging service. And so I just want you to know that it is safe to come back, and we're doing all we can to protect you all. And have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we'll try to do the best we can to answer them. We love you all, and hopefully we'll see you soon.